Well. Welcome back, ladies, to another edition of the Wire's Picks of the Weeks. Yours truly, Johnny Waiver Wire, coming to you from the M Den. We're a little bit embarrassed about this whole situation right now. I don't know what's going on there in Ann Arbor, but tough time for Michigan fans, to say the least. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about, again, where Johnny was right, where Johnny was wrong. I don't think I'm going to give you the starts and sits this week. But I'm going to talk about our league. We got some guys that are playing some very good managing style fantasy football, and some guys that just can't catch a break. So, NFL wise, where I think I was right, you've got some 3-0 teams in the NFL. Fantasy football wise, how we're playing our guys and how we're setting our rosters, I think it's safe to bet on the teams like the Patriots, obviously the Chiefs, the skill positions. I think the Ravens are still okay. They're in a good position. I think they play Cleveland this week. So anybody that's playing for Baltimore, I know that Cleveland's tough up front. I still like Lamar Jackson this week. I think he's going to do okay. Their wideouts should play well. The running backs, I think, are still going to have a decent day. So I certainly wouldn't sit any of those guys. Anybody that's going to play against, obviously, the Jets, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Jags. We know that Jalen Ramsey's out this week, right? He's with his wife or girlfriend or whatever. So the Titans, fantasy football is all about matchups. And I don't think that those teams, obviously the Dolphins, if you got somebody playing the Dolphins, I think it's a shoe-in for a start. On the NFC side, obviously the Redskins haven't looked good for the first 3 weeks, which breaks my heart. I will say that they have played the Bears, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. So hopefully they can turn that around. The Cardinals, I don't think, have come out the gate to be very good to start the season, but I don't think it's over yet. I think they've got a good enough defense. They've got enough skill positions. I'd expect the Cardinals to finish the season somewhere around, maybe the 6-10 mark. I think Kyler Murray's actually starting to come into his own. He reminds me a lot of Russell Wilson. The Lions, I don't know if I'm a true believer on. The Packers kind of got us all last night, right? We thought they were a little bit better than they are. And then they go and they crack the bed against the Eagles. Aaron Rodgers throws that end zone pick. The Bears and the Vikings, I'm telling you, one of those two is going to win the division. And I think the Vikings I like better because I think the Vikings are more of the total package. I don't think the Bears' offense is sustainable, where I think Kirk Cousins, by the time week 6, week 7, they'll be in a rhythm. They've got good wideouts. They've got a good defense. As long as Dalvin Cook stays healthy, they've got a phenomenal running back. So I'd expect the Vikings to probably take that division, with the Bears a close second. I mean, if that defense plays half as good as it did against the Redskins last week, they'll be in a good spot. And then down in the NFC South, I don't like any of those teams. So the 3 that I'd watch this week from a fantasy football standpoint going forward, where I think you're going to get your most bang for your buck, 3-0 teams. The 49ers. The 49ers are 3-0. They've beat the Steelers, the Bucks, and the Bengals, right? Those teams combined 1-8. So, I think the 49ers are off this week. I'm pretty sure Garoppolo had a bye, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, 49ers this week are off. So, you won't see them. Week 5, 49ers, I don't think are going to be as good as their record shows. I think they might be a 9-7 team, maybe an 8-8, but I don't think that they're a 3-0, going to win the division, going to make all these moves, that kind of thing. The Cowboys. So the Cowboys 3-0. The Cowboys have beaten the Redskins, Giants, and Dolphins. Take that for what it is. Do I think they're a terrible team? No. Do I think they're a Super Bowl contender? Not yet. They've got a good defense. They've got some parts, but I'm not a buyer yet of Dak Prescott. I don't think that Dak is what Dak's numbers are showing right now. I think his numbers are a product of the competition. So if you've got Dak and Amari, this week, I don't remember who they've got this week. Cowboys have the Saints. So that'll be an interesting matchup, right? Because the Saints have a decent defense. But with Teddy Bridgewater at the helm, maybe they slow it down a little bit more. I'm not real sure. Either way, that's going to be a game to watch. The last one is the Buffalo Bills. And my buddy Todd the Bod hates me for this. I don't think Josh Allen's very good. I don't think the Bills are very good. I think you're going to see that this weekend. I think the Patriots are going to go to Buffalo and absolutely expose the Bills. If they don't, then I'll be wrong. But I think this is the kind of the week where we get to see what the Bills are truly about. Because their first 3 games, they played the Jets, the Giants, and the Bengals. Combined 1-8. The Giants, that was with Eli Manning, obviously. So I'm not yet buying into the Bills. But again, to be continued, I guess we'll see. Fantasy football-wise, the Bridesmaid Slayers got a big win against the waiver wire last week. I don't know what else I got to do. I'm scoring 100 points a week. Can't beat this guy. He scored like 130 something. So I think this might be the week that the Bridesmaid Slayers kind of stumbles. We'll get into that. Van Down by the Rivers, I've loved his team all year. I think he stumbles this week. The Bishopville Beach Bangers League, you're turning into some Vijijis, okay? I would not have let Blair submit that lineup. If you don't submit your lineup by Thursday at lunch, to me, I'm sorry, you just don't get your lineup submitted. There's like multiple ways to check and do this. I didn't like seeing that. I didn't like having to do that because, well, I don't like to do it for 2 reasons, right? So now Blair is going to be competitive in a game that he probably shouldn't have been competitive against. And now Ditka, I think who he plays Ditka this week, he might beat Ditka, where, I mean, it is what it is, right? But I wouldn't have let Blair start that lineup. So Bad Juju, I think, is going to win this week, but I don't love his team. And so Josh, the current champ, who won 16 games last year, is looking for his 20th straight game. Obviously, a NFL Players Club record. So somebody's got to stop this train. It's got to happen soon. Medicine Men, we'll get to that. I think he might win this week. I think Dick, I said, is going to lose, drop to 0-4. And I don't think he should have. So that kind of sucks, right? New Era. New Era, I look back at the beginning of the season, New Era traded Ezekiel Elliott. And I thought that was going to hurt him long term. He's 3-0. So it'll be interesting to see how New Era finishes the season. Toes with Tourette's, who has Ezekiel Elliott, absolutely loaded with Patrick Mahomes. I don't know how he's 1-2. That's luck of the draw. He might finish 10-2. The Muffin Tops, I think, might get a win this week. Reality Check, he looks strong still. Legacy, man, KJ, Jezik family, I feel bad for you. It's just not going your way this year. I think you're going to drop to 1-4 this week. And we'll get into the import conference here in a second. And then we'll blow through the Wires picks of the week. I'll give you guys a brief update. Here comes the pain. 2-1 leads the division with the Wrath. Barons, Bulldogs. I think this division right here, this is usually where my division kind of falls. And the winner's like a 7-5, right next to a 6-6. You might have a couple teams out of this division this year that 2 or maybe 3 get in. But, I mean, that division as a whole is going to be a 7-5, 6-6, kind of beat each other up all the way through because there's not really one team that stands out over the other. So it'll be interesting to see. Lux Neckbeard lost. I didn't see that coming. Boys in the Hood tied with him. Woodhead tied with him. So that division, again, all 3 of those guys 2-1. Now that we start to get into inter-division play within the conference, we'll kind of see, where this falls out. But for all 3 of those teams to be at 2-1, I thought that was interesting coming out of division play. My couch pulls out, still looking for his first win. Come on, Shane. I did submit your lineup this morning for this weekend so that I had some picks to go against here. Some information. I figured if we're fucking submitting Blair's, I'm going to submit yours so that I can look at everything else. All right, the import South, Bill Belichick, 3-0. The second-year guy, right, is not a rookie anymore, but it looks like he took notes in the offseason. He might go to 4-0 this week. His roster is looking good. Al Davis tribute team, big trade for him this week. I hated to approve it, but Al Davis might go to 3-1 after this. With Sportsbook and OP pulling up the rear, OP's still looking to get on the board for his first win. Green Machine, 3-0, probably going to 4-0. I didn't look in-depth at this last division here in a minute. New guy, Bobby Earl, licensed to Khalil, got his first win last week. So looking to make a splash. Todd the Bod and Malbin sitting at 2-1. I don't really know yet, but I know that team's pretty good. So I don't know who beat them last week, or if I even predicted that. But some good starts to the season. So let's get into it. First matchup, the Medicine Men. This team is okay. I'm telling you, they're going to be okay. They got a good trade this week for Wayne Gallman with Saquon Barkley out 4 to 8 weeks. I think it's probably more on the 8-week side. I like the Medicine Men. He has Tom Brady. Now he's got Saquon's replacement with Amari Cooper and Emmanuel Sanders. I like the Medicine Men. Van down by the Rivers. Chuck, whatever you're going through, buddy. Side note, call, dude. If you want to talk, you need to get something off your chest, real deal, give me a shout, shoot me a text, man. Everybody kind of goes up and down. This week, fantasy football-wise, is going that way. Medicine Men win. Medicine Men, I like him by double digits. Give me by 10.5 this week. Big game out of those guys. Bad Juju, Bridesmaid Slayers. Bad Juju, baby. I love it. I need you to win. Take your 20th win of the year this week. Knock off the Slayers, Bridesmaid Slayers. They've got bad matchups. Leonard Fournette does not have a good week. McCaffrey, I think they're going to stack the box, try to make Kyle Allen throw it. So I'm taking Bad Juju to win this one. His wide receivers look solid. Bad Juju wins his 20th straight game. Favored by 7.5 over Bridesmaid Slayers. Battle of the first places there. So next matchup, yours truly against Kyle Arroyos. Grab him by the you-know-what. I don't pick against myself. I got 24 big points the other night from Carson Wentz, which I didn't foresee happening. So that was huge. Dalvin Cook's been on an absolute tear this year. Give me the Heisenberg's Hitmen. Wins by 8.5 over Grab him by the you-know-what. Bishopville Beach Bangers. Again, I did not want to submit that lineup. That's on you, League. Dicka does have Aaron Rodgers, scored him 26 points, but it kind of balances out, right, when Devontae Adams goes for 23. So Lamar Jackson doesn't have a giant week. He might have 15, 16 points this week against Cleveland. Not terrible numbers, but not great. That being said, I don't like the rest of Dicka's roster. I think the Beach Bangers get on the board this week. They get their first win, favored by 3.5. The Bushwhackers against the Muffin Tops. Bushwhackers this week, he got 0 points from Nelson Aguilar. I don't see how that guy still has a job, to be completely honest. I feel like he's working his way out of Philly. I don't love the rest of the Bushwhackers team here. Russell Wilson, Malcolm Brown, David Johnson. So give me the Muffin Tops. He's 0-3. He's going to get on the board at some point. Has a pretty solid team with Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, DK Metcalf. I like those guys. Austin Hooper he traded for this week. Didn't love that trade either. I think that was your trade there, Ryan. It was. But, yeah, I like the Muffin Tops, man. Come on, Minshew. Give me a win. Muffin Tops favored him. 7.5. Should get the W here. Hail to the Redskins against Free Stanley. I've said it the last couple weeks. Free Stanley's team's loaded. He's got Kamara. He's got Mack. He's got Cooks. Sterling Shepard. Greg Olsen. Free Stanley's got to win. He's a double-digit favorite this week. I like him by 15.5 over Hail to the Redskins. I know I've picked against Travis all year. He got 15 from Jimmy Graham in a throwback game last night. I still think Free Stanley's going to win it. I like Free Stanley. Give me Free Stanley to win. 12.5. Going big on him this week. Toads with Tourette's, absolutely loaded. Got some good games last night out of Aaron Jones, Alshon Jeffrey, double digits right there. He absolutely murders Long Island Legacy this week. Toads with Tourette's, 30-point favorite. Give me by 30.5 over Long Island Legacy. Absolute blowout. That team's just stacked. I'm nervous about it. New Era against Reality Check. New Era, this is the week he falls back. He's been relying a lot on the Josh Allen production. I think it takes a back seat. Had some decent games, I think, from Miles Sanders and Zach Ertz. But I don't think he's going to get enough from the production from the other guys. So, Reality Check. We'll go 4-0 this week. I like him, man. Dak Prescott, Kieran Johnson. That was a trade. Reality Check got Kieran Johnson, trade away Austin Hooper. That's big, man. I don't know how, there was an under-the-table deal, but This team's as strong as any when you look at it. Dak Prescott, Mike Evans, Michael Thomas, Evan Ingram, Kerryon Johnson, they're loaded. Reality check beats New Era. Game of the week in the NFC or the domestic conference here. This game, it's gonna be a double-digit win, but I think that's just because of matchup play. I like Reality Check. Reality Check wins this game, 18.5. Over the import conference, you kind of heard my favorites now at this point. I told you I think Barons Bulldogs, I didn't think they were bad all season. I think they're starting to kind of come around. Lux Neckbeard, to me, looking at that roster, they look good. Calvin Ridley hasn't been getting the production that I would like for Calvin Ridley to get. Same with James Conner. We're not seeing that James Conner from last year. Maybe it's because they don't have the guys that they had there. So I don't really know. I'm taking the Bulldogs this week. I like Barron's Bulldogs. He's favored by 8.5 over Lux Neckbeard. The Bulldogs looking for their third win of the season and kind of slowly creeping through. He might make some moves. Barron's always good at it. Repping from the ship. Boys in the Hood, another 2-1 team against the Wrath, who's 2-1. Great game. I've hated on the Wrath all year. This week he started Nelson Aguilar. 0 points again. McCaffrey, I think, has a tough matchup. Like I said, I think they're going to stack the box, shut down McCaffrey. I've got McCaffrey in my other league. I don't think it's going to work out for me. And Boys in the Hood is just getting banged up every week with injuries. Somehow puts a decent team together. If Kyle Allen can produce with the box stack to stop McCaffrey, this team's going to be okay. He's got Mark Ingram, who's going to be, I think, okay this week against Cleveland. Juju, O.J. Howard, Larry Fitz. Close game. I like Boys in the Hood. I think Boys in the Hood's 4.5-point favorite here. So give me Boys in the Hood to get that dub. Here comes the pain. Bringing the Woodhead. Another battle of 2-1s. Each team trying to get in first place. Bringing the Woodhead had Devontae Adams, who he actually started last night, Blair. Got 23 points from him. Miles Sanders, he got 7. Bringing the Woodhead's been tough all year. I don't like how the pain... he picked up Daniel Jones. I got to see some more out of Daniel Jones outside of just what we saw last week. He does get the Redskins this week, so we'll see. I'm a big believer in Kyler Murray. I like what he's doing, so I'm taking Bringing the Woodhead. It's going to be a close game, but Bringing the Woodhead's going to win. In my opinion, 5.5 points here. I got the spread at 5.5. I don't know how to say this next one, but it's not Miami, however it goes, against the Couch Pulls Out. Again, you guys submitted Blair's. I had the same issue with Shane's. So Shane's roster, he's got Aaron Rodgers in there. 26 points from Rodgers last night. 4 from Jake Elliott. Dan Reedy, not Miami, however you say that name. Not a bad team. Lamar Jackson, I don't think, goes off. Has a productive week. Todd Gurley, again, productive. I think all of his guys are productive. But again, this has got to be the week. My Couch Pulls Out, picked up Gallman. He's got to be the difference maker against the Redskins. Aaron Rodgers, Gallman, Kamara, Boyd, John Ross, George Kittle. My Couch Pulls Out gets win number 1 this week. He's favorited 6.5 points against Not You. Green Machine, the stud in the import conference against OP. Battle of the co-workers. I love it. Jerry, this one's out of hand, buddy. 25.5-point favorites for Green Machine this week. 25.5. He's got Mahomes, Derrick Henry. I don't love Adrian Peterson in the backfield. He's starting to look old. He's starting to show his age. I've picked OP the last couple weeks. His roster's kind of let me down. So Green Machine's got Julio Jones. He's got Galladay. He's got Gordon. He's got Ingram. He's absolutely loaded. Green Machine wins. I think I said 25.5. It's got to be 25 or more in this one. Green Machine wins. Last couple games, I think we got 3 left on tap. Naughty by Norfolk against Bill Belichick. Phenomenal matchup here, 2-1 against 3-0. Bill Belichick starting Teddy Bridgewater this week. I don't love that start. I'm not a big believer. I mean, he's got Zeke, Carlos Hyde. Naughty by Norfolk starting 2 tight ends, Zach Ertz and Greg Olsen, which I don't always love that either, with Rashad Penny in the backfield. Cole Beasley, I think I picked him up as well. I wouldn't start him this week against New England. That's a tough start, but I do like the Phillip Rivers start. This one's going to teeter-totter. I mean, it's one of those games. It could go either way. It could come down to the defense. Patriots defense against Josh Allen. Maybe they get a pick six. I'm going to take Naughty by Norfolk to get the win. Send both of these teams to 3-1. Let's say 3.5-point favorite. I think it's going to be close though. Last two games. Al Davis tribute team against Discount Double Check. Double Check looking. Tony's looking for his first win of the year. Doesn't have a bad team, man. Matt Ryan, who has a great matchup this week. Chris Carson, Marlon Mack, DeAndre Hopkins. Pretty solid team. I look over at Al Davis, though. Dak Prescott, Nick Chubb, Odell Beckham, Chris Godwin, Travis Kelce. I think Al Davis is going to win. He's going to 3-0. Sending Discount Double Check to 0-4. Tony might have to make a trade here, buddy. You got some decent pieces there to kind of give away. Maybe get a 2-for-1, some more productivity. Give me Al Davis tribute team to win this week. He's going to win by 15.5 over Discount Double Check. Last game of the week. License to Khalil against the Sportsbook. I said it before, the Sportsbook has the unluckiest roster in fantasy football this year, outside of maybe the G-Train. Boys and Hood had a bunch of... Not a bad roster. Jacoby Brissett, David Brown, T.Y. Hilton. Just not enough firepower there. License to Khalil wins this week. I don't love the Hunter Renfrow start, but Dalvin Cook's just been a monster. And between Dalvin Cook, David Montgomery, and Russell Wilson, they should win this week. So I'm taking License to Khalil. I think it'll be a close game. And I like him by 2.5. So keep an eye on that one. Could go either way. That's the Wires Picks of the Week. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys have a good one.